Hey, welcome back to Burntwood Workshop. Today we're going to talk about Infusible Ink and what you can do with that with the M1 Ultra and with Sublimation press and some different things. Some of the stuff we're going to be making are things like this and these. And I'll show close-ups of those and I'll show you in detail how I did all of it. So in this video, we're going to go over how I made these. This is done with Infusible Ink. This one is done with Infusible Ink, Engraving, and Sublimation. This one is done with Infusible Ink, Engraving, Sublimation, and Infill. And then we just added a little punch to some of our previous projects by taking our happy hour sign and making a sublimated piece for that. And if you like what you see, we made a cover for our subscribe sign that from a previous video, and that was the original. I lost part of the B, so it doesn't look quite as sharp, but that's that. So the first item we did was the cardinal, and this is done on the Infusible Ink paper. And what I did was I took this image and I fine cut it with the blade. 100 grams, 80 millimeters per second. And then once you cut it out on your Infusible Ink sheet, then you have to weed it. And I'll show you how you do that. So on the Infusible Ink, I learned that you're peeling this off. It's peeling it off with some of the paper too when it comes off. So you want to be careful to peel from the point out and not up, because sometimes it'll take the piece right off. I lost one leaf by doing it that way. And you want to cut off as much as you can around it so that you're not peeling all the way to the outer edge, because it's a lot of peeling. And as you can see, like here, we've got some left, so we're just going to clip that off. And you might not want to pick a design that's quite this detailed, but we're crazy and we thought we'd go nuts and pick something really detailed. So I got a little bit more to peel, and then we're going to show how to press this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Infusible Ink, which basically works just like sublimation, but if you don't have a sublimation printer, this is another way to put designs on your wood without a sublimation printer and all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. This is a laminate sheet put onto a piece of white painted board, and we're going to take this and we're going to stick it down. And this stuff wants to curl wicked, and that's something we're going to have to come up with a solution on. If you have any ideas for flattening this out before we use it, I'd appreciate it. But we made it work. Now we've got our piece on our wood. We're going to stick this in the sublimation press. And we've got the sublimation press set for 40 seconds. And we're going to turn the pressure back a little bit. And we're going to go. Okay, so here's our test. Let's see what we end up with. Wow. That came out really nice, didn't it? Okay, so we have a 1/4 inch piece of plywood that we've painted white, and then we're going to put our laminate sheet on that, and that's going to be matte side down, shiny side up. And we're going to put that in for 380 to 385 at 15 seconds. I'm going to put it in the heat press. And these are 8.5 by 11 sheets. You can get larger sheets, which is on my list of things to get. We're going to put that in, we're going to hit run. Okay, so our sheet has been laminated. I'm going to pull this out of the press. And it doesn't always laminate down perfect. It sometimes has a little bubble in it. And you just want to wipe that out. And then we've got a nice, smooth laminate sheet on there. And then we're going to go to the next step. So the hardest part about the Infusible ink is it comes in rolls. So it's, as you can see, very springy. And because I have laminate sheets for 8.5 by 11 and these come 12 by 12, I have to cut them down so they fit on our laminate sheet here. So once we've got this all stuck down, we stick it in the press. And our new settings are 390 to 400 for 40 seconds. Okay. So now let's pull our sheet out of here. And this is our Infusible ink on a laminate sheet on 1/4 inch plywood. Now from here, you can cut something out, cut out a shape, engrave it, any number of things. We're going to show how to sublimate with regular sublimation paper onto this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our sublimation inked paper. We're going to make a cosmic mousse. So we're going to take this, we're going to put this on here. We're just going to tape it down real quick. Right onto our infused ink paper. I'm going to stick this in here. And our settings are going to change to 395 to 400 for 60 seconds. And we're going to hit play again. Okay. So here we've got our cosmic mousse image. Just a possibility. Something to experiment with. So now that we've got it all laid out, we're going to run this on our M1 Ultra and cut this out and engrave it. Okay, so we've got our design all set in. Got our M1 Ultra all set. And the AP2 just fired in to take out all our exhaust fumes, and here we go. I'm going to run this for a little bit, and then I will show you the reveal. And this is going to run for about 16 minutes. Okay, so here's our image coming out of the machine here. And what we've got is our cosmic mousse. The cosmic mousse image didn't come out as good as we like. So what we can do is we can run that over again with some masking tape on it and actually infill it. So if you've already done all this work and you want to masking tape it, make sure you put your magnets in. Make sure nothing moves when you mask it. And then you're just going to take your masking tape and you put it right over that text that you just did. I'm going to cover the whole text. Move this down nice. And then we'll rerun just the cosmic mousse section. Okay, so we ignored everything else but the cosmic mousse, and we're going to rerun it with the masking tape. So our first pass on the masking tape with those settings didn't quite go through, so we're going to run it one more time. So now we've got our engrave done really nice. We'll take this out. We'll pop our cosmic mousse out. And then if the tape didn't cut all the way through, I set up the score, but it looks like it cut through all the tape. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spray that out so we have a nice defined image. Okay, so here's our image. And we're going to peel off the masking. Okay, so here's our Cosmic Mousse. So these are my most common settings for the sublimation press, the heat press actually. And what I did was I made a nice little frame for it, and I used the Infusible Ink, and I cut settings out, and I put a colored backer behind it to make it stand out. And as you can see, the Infusible Ink on the borders where the laminate sheet is actually did print out a little light, but it's something you could do if you didn't want to use the laminate sheets. You could try this with just using the Infusible Ink on the regular painted plywood. So that's a possibility, and I'll just pause this on here for a second so you can get a look at the settings. And there are my settings. Hope you found this video helpful. I'll put a link to the sublimation paper I use in the comments, and the Infusible Ink you can get at pretty much any hobby store. I found it by Cricut. I don't know if anybody else makes it. I couldn't find anybody else, but you can put this on t-shirts. It doesn't have to be on wood, doesn't have to be on laminate sheets. You could put it on t-shirts. So you could have this design basically put on with the Infusible Ink onto a t-shirt. You can also, I would assume, be able to do the Infusible Ink with sublimation on it the same way we did here on a t-shirt. With the M1 Ultra, you could do this, and you could use the foil transfer for the gold. So these are some possibilities. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave some comments, and I'll see you soon.